If you've ever felt completely stuck in a rut, overwhelmed, or just kind of derailed in life, you've probably searched for a way to hit the reset button. Usually, we're told that turning things around is this slow, grueling climb. But a concept proposed by the YouTube channel RelentX challenges that entirely. They suggest a radical, rapid-fire approach, a complete 24-hour reset. It's a high-octane system that demands absolute honesty and literally claims to fix your life in a single day.
We've all heard the conventional wisdom, right? The idea that it takes 21 days to build a habit, or 90 days to change your lifestyle, or even taking a 7-day retreat to clear your head. Well, the creator of this framework calls that a complete myth. According to this philosophy, the reality is much more immediate. You don't need weeks or months. You need one day. One single, definitive decision where you stop lying to yourself and finally do what needs to be done. It's a really intense claim, and it contrasts so sharply with the gentle self-improvement advice we're so used to hearing.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because before we get to the solution, we have to look at how the source diagnoses the problem. When you feel stuck, you might think you're just broken. But the creator argues that most people aren't broken at all. They're simply overstimulated. In our modern world, we're drowning in noise. Your brain has absolutely no space to think, no space to reflect, and honestly, no room to breathe. This framework suggests that your underlying machinery works perfectly fine. It's just buried under an avalanche of constant, relentless input.
To fix this, the creator outlines an exact chronological 24-hour system. First, we'll cover the one-day life reset philosophy, followed by Step 1, radical self-confinement, Step 2, the mirror ritual, Step 3, destroy to rebuild, Step 4, the warrior hour, and finally, Step 5, the nightly rule.
Section 1, the one-day life reset, the philosophy of extreme immediacy.
The creator makes it clear right from the jump. This framework is not some gentle dose of morning motivation. It's a war. The entire system hinges on this one incredibly powerful concept. You don't need more time, you need more truth. The argument here is that the real barrier to change isn't your busy schedule, it's self-deception. We constantly convince ourselves we'll change when we have fewer commitments. But the creator insists what we're actually lacking is a brutal, unfiltered confrontation with the truth of our own actions.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sequential 5-step journey the creator demands. You see, you can't just stumble into this truth. You have to force it through. Radical self-confinement, the mirror ritual, destroy to rebuild, the warrior hour, and finally the 9 p.m. rule.
Step 1. Radical self-confinement. Leveraging the power of absolute silence.
The rules for this confinement phase are strict. I mean, totally unforgiving. You must pick one specific day and completely cut the cord. You turn off your phone, no internet, no social media, absolutely no scrolling, and no texting. Zero distractions. It's just you and your mind. For a modern brain, that honestly sounds a little terrifying, doesn't it? But the fastest way to find clarity, according to this framework, is to go completely silent and starve your brain of those constant screen-based dopamine hits.
The rationale for this aggressive digital detox is absolutely fascinating. The creator points out that people often claim they scroll because they're bored. But this framework pushes back hard, stating, if you can't spend one day alone with your own thoughts, you're not avoiding boredom, you're avoiding truth. This silence isn't meant to be a relaxing spa day. It's meant to be a forced confrontation with reality, leaving you literally nowhere to hide from your own inner monologue. Step 2. The mirror ritual. Facing yourself without filters.
So, once the noise is gone, this step requires you to stand in front of a mirror and look directly into your own eyes. There's no background music playing to set the mood, and you aren't reciting any positive affirmations. You are instructed to hold absolute, unbroken stillness for exactly 5 minutes, just looking at yourself.
And into that 5 minutes of silence, you drop a single question: who am I pretending to be? You don't just say it, you have to ask it for real. The creator describes the result as a literal sting in your chest. That discomfort, that is supposed to be your real self waking up, realizing that you've been performing a character for the rest of the world. This ritual is the designated moment you officially stop being fake.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Step 3, destroy to rebuild, sending a subconscious message.
Okay, so you've isolated yourself, you've confronted your reflection, and now the system requires a physical action. You're instructed to grab a notebook and write down 3 very specific things with total, brutal honesty. First, the habits that are currently killing your potential. Second, the places or environments that just drain your power. And third, the lies you continually tell just to be accepted by others. This exercise forces deep awareness by putting your self-sabotage down on paper in black and white. But wait, you don't keep the list. The framework demands that you violently destroy that paper. Tear it, burn it, rip it, shred it. The logic here is actually super profound. Writing the list creates awareness, sure, but physically destroying it sends a definitive message to your subconscious mind. It symbolizes that the old version of you, the one who tolerated those bad habits and told those lies, dies today. You're not going back.
Step 4, the warrior hour, forcing physical, mental, and spiritual alignment.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the creator structures this highly active, intense portion of the 24-hour reset. You set a 60-minute timer and you divide it into 3 perfect 20-minute slices. For the first 20 minutes, you aggressively move your body. Go for a run, do push-ups, take an ice-cold shower. The specific activity doesn't actually matter as long as you're pushing your physical limits. The next 20 minutes is dedicated to dumping your mind, and the final 20 minutes is dedicated to sitting in pure silence.
Notice the stark contrast between the middle and the final 20-minute segments of this hour. The middle section is just pure chaos. You're writing down everything you're feeling, pouring it all out onto the page rapidly with absolutely no filter and no structure. But then, you immediately shift into absolute control. For the final 20 minutes, there are no phones, no music, no writing. You just breathe, you just exist. The creator claims that completing this specific hour causes a palpable shift inside you, unlocking this profound sense of control, power, and presence.
Finally, step 5, the nightly rule, acknowledging your presence.
As the intense 24-hour cycle finally winds down, this step takes place precisely at 9 p.m. It serves as the emotional conclusion to your day of radical truth. You return to the mirror. But unlike the intense questioning from earlier in the day, this time you don't interrogate yourself. You look in the mirror and you simply say, "Thank you for showing up."
So the crucial point is understanding why this exact phrase matters so much at the end of the day.
The creator stresses that this moment is not about celebrating perfection. Actually, scratch that, it's not even about measuring progress. It is entirely about acknowledging presence. Think about it. Most people never give themselves a single day of showing up with full intensity, a day where they didn't run, didn't hide, and didn't lie. Facing yourself like that is incredibly rare. This 9 p.m. rule helps you realize that you aren't fundamentally flawed. You were just buried under a mountain of comfort and fear. Which brings us to the ultimate promise of this entire framework. The creator firmly believes that one honest, focused, intense day can change the trajectory of your entire life. This massive change doesn't happen because you magically became an entirely new person overnight. No, it happens because you finally stopped pretending, you stripped away the overstimulation, and you realigned with your actual reality. Radical honesty compressed into 24 hours is the catalyst for the whole shebang. This framework is intense, it's demanding, and it is utterly unapologetic. It proposes that the only thing standing between you and a completely different life trajectory is your willingness to face the silence. So as we wrap up this explainer, you have to ask yourself the very question this entire system is built upon. Are you ready to stop pretending?